When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP This Morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hi, Zara.
Come on. Come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to break our fast in this village. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
You know, Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan. Nasoda kaunane marabauta gashi.
Ramon, me haka. Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Things don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay. Thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan.
All right, it's Thursday, and we welcome you to another beautiful outing right here on VOP This Morning. I'm Moses Humphrey, welcoming you on board.
Pino Kechiko is my name. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria.
Well, a beautiful morning it is, just like Moses rightly said, and we bid you welcome to VOP This Morning. My name is David Edwin. It's a pleasure having you always, as always. And this morning, I want to ask Fina a very direct question. Why are you always laughing?
I'm a happy child. Oh, okay.
Together, she's a happy child. It's good. It's good. Oh well, there's something I read up last night when I was, perusing the papers. I saw this story and it got me laughing too. Even though it wasn't a pleasant one, it was a story of a pregnant wife, young wife, who connived with her boyfriend to kidnap herself and then tell the husband to pay ransom. Even though the ransom was 2 million, the husband paid. Because she was pregnant, there's a story. She said she was on her way for antenatal when she was abducted. And then somebody called the husband with her phone and told him that your wife has been abducted, you have to pay ransom 2 million. Okay, he paid it into the wife's account, and she shared the money. She gave her boyfriend 800, and she took 1.2. But in the process, they were apprehended. It just goes to, even though it's laughable, but it goes to show. I don't know if I should call this desperation.
Okay.
Technical desperation.
It's something else. No, it's not desperation. Yeah.
I'm also trying to.
We say he's a stingy man, so she just wanted to get the money off him.
Something like
But
that.
That's not true.
Maybe.
Wait.
No, the thing is actually,
So if it's
something actually would have led her into, although I'm not trying in quote now to exonerate her from the fact that she's having sex outside the marriage and all that.
If a woman does anything wrong, there has to be something that motivates her.
No. I'm a rational human being now. I'm not trying.
How rational can you be?
No, listen, David.
That she's married and she's having extramarital affairs.
She is pregnant, and then she have a boyfriend. Now, do anybody actually want to ask the husband what happened? Why will your pregnant wife, who's supposed to be
It's
seeking
his fault,
solace,
right?
where you
Right? It's
are,
his fault,
be
right?
looking for someone
It's his
else?
fault.
It's his fault.
And no reason
Yeah,
is that, but
yeah.
two of them don't know what they're doing. But
well,
actually, it's not really fun. It's not fun for pregnant or for married people now. Wake up and they decide to desecrate the union.
Oh, yes.
Even sure
The union itself.
he is the father.
Of the child. DNA go talk and we go shake out.
All right then.
tests.
Well, let's let you into some of our major topics this morning.
Oh, yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, NLC members storm Labour Party headquarters, demands Abure'S removal as chairman.
Also on our radar this morning, House of Reps approves new salaries allowances for judicial officers.
All right, so these are the stories we're tracking this morning. I would like for you to come with us as we go through this. Join us on YouTube. We are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Now, just in case you're wondering, what does VOP stand for? It stands for Voice of the People. All right, so we'll be going into the papers right away, and as we start the papers, we'll be joined by Dr. Ganiu Oluwashola, who is managing partner, KJB Professional Services, and he's also a public affairs commentator. So he's here in that capacity as a public affairs commentator. All right, so let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll delve into the papers.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hi, Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to track our person this evening. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda kauna ne marabauta da shi.
Ramon, me haka. Gashi na riga ta lalace haba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem.
All right, welcome back. And this is the newspaper review part of the show. Let's get right into it. We've been joined by Dr. Ganiu Oluwashola, managing partner, KJB Professional Services. All right. And good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having. Good morning. You've been smiling all through this. Maybe part of the CJN
No.
money is coming to your.
You never can tell. You never can tell, really. Oh, well, let's get into the papers. That, of course, is one of the topics we'll focus on this morning.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Naira rebounds. Now, I'm looking at the Punch newspaper. Naira rebounds to 1,400 naira to $1. Seems like good news, isn't it?
Sure.
All right. Now, this headline from the Punch has it that naira rebounds to 1,400 naira to $1 as speculators offload forex. Sub-riders, naira appreciates at parallel official markets. Operators foresee 1,200 naira to $1 in weeks. CBN tightens news on currency speculators. Completes payment of $7 billion forex backlogs. All right. And on top of the nameplate, Tinubu pushes 60 million naira annual pay for Supreme Court justices. Delta bloodbath. Senate meets service chiefs as troops comb creeks. FG varsity workers meeting deadlocked. Unions continue strike. National Assembly passes student loan bill, proposes jail for defaulters. All right. And then the pictorial here has the rider. NEMA blames water scarcity as fire raises Lagos building. LP demands NLT president's arrest over party secretariat invasion. Lagos transporters accuse OP Mesa officers of extortion, harassment. Senate names committee room after late Olubadan. Senate names committee room after late Olubadan. All right, so these are the headlines here. Starting off with the humanitarian part of it, NEMA blaming, scarcity of water for their inability to put out the fire that engulfed 4 buildings actually yesterday in the Lagos Island part of town. Scarcity of water. These things never cease to surprise me.
It's laughable. And you see, when you see people that should be in leaders, I think once they move into leadership position, you should taught them what leadership is all about. Leadership is all about taking responsibility. Right? It's not pushing blames or pointing on or pushing but pressing blame button. No. Leadership is taking responsibility and bringing solutions to matter. And I think most people, maybe they are not prepared to be a leader. They just get to leadership by either by mistake or by default or by unnecessary ambition, right? Because if you are saying that fire could not be quenched due to scarcity of water, so why are you there? One of the instruments you should use is water. And you said there is scarcity of water.
How do you even park your trucks without putting water?
Without water. So it shows that they've been all there drinking coffee and tea without being So this also shows a track of being reactive and not proactive. Not even proactive that, each day, you say now, and each day, a typical mechanic wake up and says that, there will be a vehicle breakdown and I'll be called for a repair. In my line of duty, I wake up each day and say, a client can call me for an advisory in certain specific area. So you get prepared over time. It's not that we all watch the boxing of Anthony Joshua and this other guy. He has prepared all this way. Within 2 rounds, the guy is down, right? So you could see that he doesn't get to the boxing ring and started preparing. Where's my glove? Where is my shoe? So these are things. Every time, every day, you should know that these tankers needs to be filled with water. They are not calling you for fire outbreak and you are now saying that there's no water. Where should we get water? Where do we get? I think if we actually run a system that works, they're dead. The man should just be sacked. It shows a total level of incompetence.
I'm also trying to even imagine the mindset of the people around there if they get to know that there is no water. The question will now be, why did you come here?
Most times you find out that,
Which is the reason why a lot of persons, when they see them, they stone them some of the time.
Exactly, because I was actually getting to that. There was what I witnessed somewhere in Anambra State where a filling station actually was burning and fire service truck came there empty.
Imagine.
Without water.
So you
and
see,
what we want to ask, what is happening?
this bring an abuse to the government of parastatals on operation, where people just see that it's just a place you just go and while away time, right? It's just a place you just go to just relax and do nothing. You get so the government operation is not productive. So because why? It's just like a student going to the exam hall without a pen. So what is he going to use to write? So these are excuses that are not tenable anywhere.
Now, talking about the water thing, I also come across what's it called, a documentary where people, apart from using water now to quench fires, you can go for balls. There's these balls that they use, and they drop them kind of when there is a fire inferno happening. Is it that the government actually have not seen those?
You see, I watched some documentary and I watched some things online. Give it to China. These guys are going to places. You immediately something happen now. You just see them get some. Even no matter how tall the building is, there's a way the vehicle is going to move, get to the place, throw something there, and the fire, even out of, let it be an high-raising building, and the fire broke out in one of the flats there. It's not going to, they'll just move directly to that place, throws in something, and the fire quench without spreading.
All right, let's look at another story here. Sorry, the story about the student loan.
Oh yes, that's where I was actually
going. And now it's been passed. Do you think this caveat will be encouraging for students to want to participate in it? Going to jail term.
You see, those are things that are not expected for. That should not be had. You see, if we are going to adopt something, we should adopt it holistically, right? We are look at the developed country where these things work. If there are systems in place, if systems are properly put in place, right? Student loan, the essence why you are giving them loan is for you to allow them to go to school.
And you
right?
go to school and you're
to go to school. So if you are going to school, so indirectly you must also get a way for them to secure a job. It's not by their own making. They finish out of school and there is no job. Are you going to kill them, right? And when you look at statistics now, I like what Adam Oshiomole did in the at the plenary. You see that the destiny in him came out. It was talking about out of school people. The percentage in when you look at one of the in Kogi State, you look at Ebonyi has the largest percentage. And when you see a lot of even the Kaduna is even doing well. When you see a lot of drop out of school, it shows that that kind of country has no future. You will not see someone that goes to school before he's been. You will see most of the elementary that are being used as a kind of scale. Most of them did not go to school. So if you are proposing loan for students loan for them to go to school, we give you a thumbs up. The question is that you must ensure that as they're coming out from school, there are jobs for them. In the developed country, what they do is that immediately you secure a job, the loan is being defrayed, right? You can't even escape it. There's a way they link your NIN, they link all your credentials with where you are working. The government gets its money, not in Nigeria, where you get an agricultural loan, a loan for farmer, and use it to build a house, and you never pay the money. So I think rather than sanctioning this today, it will be against natural justice, right? Why not put system in place that works?
Okay.
That shows the way they are going to defray the loan, and also ensure that as they're moving out of school, there are jobs opportunity for them to be able to get.
All right, let's just move away from that and get into another paper. Now we'll be diving into Daily Independence, where the banner headline here reads, LP faults NLC picketing party's secretariat, says it's unlawful. Now the writers here says berates Joe Ajero, vows to drag union to court. Another writer there says Utomi urges ceasefire, stakeholders consultations. Once proposed March convention postponed. Now, above the nameplates there, you find another headline that reads, "Go into farming to better our situation. Oluremi Tinubu tells Nigerians." Okay. The next headline there reads, "Tinubu is decisive leader. Posterity won't forget him," says Shetima. Well, there's another pictorial there, right there at the front page of the Daily Independence. Well, by the side of that pictorial, you find another headline that reads, "NNPC Limited pledges to use gas to trigger Nigeria's industrialization economy development." Also beneath it, excuse me, you find why Kuje prison break was successful. This is coming from the army. Also, you find the Senate passes student loan NYC trust fund bills. And then below it as well, you find fire destroys buildings, goods at Lagos Market, 37 shops in Kano. There also you find another headline there beneath it that reads, $7 billion CBN eliminates FX legacy backlog, clears valid transactions. And then the major, well, I don't want to call it a banner headline, but beneath the picture there says, NAS pushes 2023 Appropriation Act implementation to June 30th. And then the final headline there on the front page of Daily Independence reads, SEC rejects PZ Customs minority shareholders buyout distilling plans. Okay, the listing plans, I beg your pardon. So those are the headlines right there on the front page of the Daily Independent. Now, Dr. Daniel, at this point, I just feel, okay, maybe one of this might be taking your fancy. Which of these headlines would you want to react to? But I think majorly the one I actually want to talk about is go into farming to better our situation. Oluremi Tinubu tells Nigerians. At this point, what do you make of that statement?
It's actually a good statement, right? But the question is that, what are we doing? You see, we should get to a time that we walk our talk, not just talk for us to say it, right? If you are saying people to go to farming, which is when you look at more developed country, perhaps US and every other thing, there's a community. The way they work in community, what they eat in that community is produced in that community. So the farmers are working. So even you are as a graduate, you have this courage, this yearning to go into farming because you are productive. You are even giving back to the community. The community does not need to import or export because what they consume in that community is being produced in that community. So if he wants to mirror the same thing right in this country, the question is that we have a lot of things to tackle. Number one, we need to change it from the crude area of farming to a mechanized farming, right? We have fertile land in this country. We have a lot landscape that people are not taking advantage of. Mechanized, even a single...
But insecurity still plays its own.
I'm coming there. A single farm equipment can cultivate a lot of acres of land, make a lot of edges and plant. As they're cultivating, as they're clearing, they're making edges and they're planting at the same time without much human intervention. But if we want to ask, it may be now, as we are trying to achieve that also, insecurity is also flashing at the eye of people. Even Benue that has to be the food basket of the country, look at the way insecurity, kidnapping and bandits going around happening. The Federal Capital Territory Minister was saying that, don't get, most of this kidnapping is being self-staged. Just like what was said at the early stage that a pregnant woman coming from it. You see, you just imagine, right? Staged it, right? A lot of things is being staged, whereas some are being real. Then the question is that we can't just close our eyes and ensure that this state, I once said, there was a time in this country that these bandits they have this effrontery and this courage say that the number one citizen of Nigeria will be kidnapped. Imagine. Where's the effort, where's the courage coming from? So if they are targeting the number one citizen of the country with so much security apparatus around it, what happens to average Nigerian like you and I? Right? This should be taken into consideration If these things are properly done, people will gladly go to farming, right? And we will have a big. Nigeria is known for exporting of agricultural products before now. But what happened? All distracted us, and insecurity stepped in, and a lot of things happened.
Talking about oil and the distraction, NNPC Limited pledges to use gas to trigger Nigeria's industrialization, economic development. Are you towing that line to what do you make of that?
You see, it's a good one because Nigeria has the largest gas deposit in our country. We have it. But most of the time, there was a time we fled the gases. We waste it. It's like a saying that said, if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable because we don't know. Even there was a time in the early 80s, we have a president in Nigeria that says that we have too much money and we don't know how to spend it. So you see, when we get into leadership without planning, that's how we just, even a day as an individual, if you don't actually plan for the day, you think that the hours are too much for you, right? You think that, oh, this day is too long because there's no proper planning. And there's a saying that says failure to plan is planning to fail. So these are just things that we need to. And the question I also say is that it also needs to, even the oil deposit that is handling, what do we pick out of it? Right? So now giving us an idea, right, concerning another avenue to make more money. What will tell us that those places will not be mismanaged? Because you need to show us an example that for you to show us that this angle we are going to become more productive, you must also show us that this area have done perfectly okay. So we can venture into this area and we are sure that we are going to get more results from there.
All right then. I think our time for this is up, unfortunately. There are other papers we would have loved to take, but we cannot do so at this time as we delve into some of the parts of the show.
And up next on our radar, the conflict between the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Labour Party has taken another turn as members of the NLC Wednesday picketed the headquarters of the party in the Otako area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Details and more after this quick break.
Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to drink our person this evening. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda kauna ne marabauta da shi.
Ramon, me haka? Gashi na riga ta lalace ka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Things don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports, and even entertainment. Join us weekdays, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to drink our first in this evening. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have to do.
Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda kauna ne marabauta da shi.
Ramon, me haka. Gashi na riga ta lalace ka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem.
All right, in a recent development, the Labour Party has accused the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, that's LP, accusing NLC, of an unauthorized entry and damage of properties at its national headquarters. The party criticized Joe Ajero, the NLC president, for his recent behavior towards workers and the government. Now, you will recall that NLC had previously instructed its members to mobilize workers and block access to Labour Party secretariats nationwide in protest of the party's upcoming national convention scheduled for March 27. A circular co-signed by the chairman and secretary of the NLC Political Commission, Titus Amba and Chris Uyot, also demanded the immediate resignation or removal of the national chairman of the party, Julius Abure, citing alleged financial misconduct and disrespect towards Ajero. Now, the NLC leadership also alleged that Abure was planning to hold a secret convention without the input of major stakeholders. NLC Political Commission further described the Labour Party national chairman, Julius Abure, as a drowning wannabe politrickster. Now, the Congress emphasized that the Labour Party belongs to the NLC, while stressing that Abure violated a court order on the ownership of the party. Well, Julius Abure, I beg your pardon, Joe Ajero has been in the news lately for different issues. Even the president, pointed through a jab at him that if they want to contest election, they should wait for 2027. Is there something blowing in the wind? Is there an answer in the wind somewhere? Oh, well, we have joining us for this conversation. We still have with us in the studio Dr. Ganiu Oluwashola, Managing Partner, KJB Professional Services, and he's here in the capacity of a public affairs analyst. We also have joining us right now Mr. Olusegun Okunade, who is a public affairs analyst as well. Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Tina.
And David.
And my brother and friend. It's been a while.
Oh yes, you what now? You ran away, went abroad, went on hiatus or something.
We need to just go cool it down.
Cool it down, yeah?
The weather is quite hot.
I can imagine. Scorching. Now, another thing that is hot right now is Labour Party and NLC. A house, one would say, divided against itself.
First and foremost, I think what some of us said during the politicking and politics those days of saying NLC, LP are one sesame twins that you cannot separate. People were saying no. And we said it then that it's actually nothing bad because even in UK we have the Labour Party, so we are not against it. But the approach at which we expect NLC to be independent in their views when they are actually making some submission relating to workers were not approached in a more professional way as it is. And that was just the idea. It reminded me of the scenario that happened in this state, in the Eastern part, when Joe Ajero visited Imo State during the election, and we were like, or what was it there? They tried to mix the issue of workers' welfareism and the politics there. But people were not seeing the one behind. When we were saying it, they were saying, so it's clearer now. It's clearer the position of Joe Ajero as an individual in the political landscape that we have in the country. But back to the issue of coming to attack Abure, of inconsistency and several allegations. You see, if you want to play politics, you play politics. If you want to represent the workers, you represent the workers. And as a representative of the workers, you must be seen as being unbiased. You don't play politics with workers' welfareism. We've seen a lot of politics.
This has moved away from fighting for workers now. This is the political arm of NLC trying to pitch its tent and say, look,
we own the party.
We own the party, and we don't want this individual at the head of affairs anymore. Which also points to the, excuse me, which points to the fact that there is a possibility that Joe Ajero wants to switch from being a to be the chairman of the party. That's an accusation that Abure has put out there against him already.
David, you'll be right. I know Joe Ajero when he was NUEE General Secretary, and we know the way and manner he plays his game. I believe being the chairman of a Labour Party will be more beneficiary than being NLC. Being NLC. Reason being that you are always confrontational with the government when it comes to NLC without having a good landing place. But when you talk about politics, you're looking at me. There is so much underneath the ground. The only profession that is successful, of which very soon I want to believe that my brother will soon join, is politics. So when you are in it, you understand that whatever you are seeing as an NLC person cannot be compared to being involved deeply in politics.
Now, what we're just looking at this assertion that you just pinned down, isn't that an indication that we are quite an expensive government in terms of our politicking? Isn't that a sign that because the expensiveness is the high, how am I going to put this word now?
The lucrativeness.
The lucrativeness of the politics
Yeah.
is what this person is looking at rather than the welfare of workers. Because right now it's looking clear, just like we're seeing right now, that it's obvious that he possibly wants to go get into politics.
It's not that he possibly wants to get into politics. Even with NLC position, it's politicking. Everything is politics. But what we're trying to state here is that for Joe Ajaero and Abure, who initially brought up this, even when the other Akpata was fighting Abure,
Yeah.
Ajaero then were behind Abure to make sure that he doesn't actually have his way. But where we are now, majority of the allegation of Akpata then are what the Joe Ajaero team or the wing of the NLC political are accusing Abure of. These are allegations of what Akpata said then. So for me, you see, when you talk about politics being lucrative, David, it's like asking me, giving me a tall order of what do we need to do. That is the only viable business everybody needs to venture into if you want to make ends meet.
All right, let me come to Dr. Ganiu now. With all these things happening, and we still have the issue of labor, organized labor, fighting for salary increase. Where does this put? I mean, can we dissociate them really? Can we dissociate the chairman of Labour Party and his ambition to be in the front line of the politics from, can we dissociate that from fighting for the workers, which is something that is biting right now, especially if you look at the fact that Labour has consistently been at loggerheads with the government calling for strikes, but never exactly going through with those strikes. With what is going on now, can there be separation of interest?
There should be separation of interest. Honestly, these are also misplacements of priorities and total distractions, right? You have a food on your table. You are yet to finish consuming the food. And you saw another plate ahead of you of what your friend is eating, and you're already eyeing the food.
Which spells greed.
Total greed, right? And because of that, it's going to lead at non-performance. What you are currently handling, you have not been successfully done it. It has not been successfully done. Then you are already why not allow those things to just work their own way? So once you are done, Adam Oshiomole, once he's done, eventually into politics, right? And it becomes acceptable because you see, he's a wise guy. When you look at what is happening in the Senate, it's actually showing the activities is him. You understand? This is what makes him to have a buy-in when it goes to Edo State. For instance, now, Joe, a guy, he has not even gotten a buy-in. Nobody has given him a thumbs up. He has not successfully carried out something. He has not successfully fought for anybody. So for you to have a pre-degree, for people to buy, people should be able to say that we know this guy is going to stand for us. He has us in his mind. For now, you have not been successful. You've not actually successfully carried out any duty even as the president. When he was coming on board, it was maybe overhyped. Just like the guy that fought with Anthony Joshua. It was too overhyped. And they said it was the brain behind Adam Oshiomole when he was in government. And people were saying, this guy is going to perform, the government is in for it. And he came in and nothing is happening.
Now, Dr. Gani, I want to ask you this. Looking at when Mr. Olusegun was talking, he made mention of how Bata actually, before the Abure man came in, there was a discrepancy where he even went on air to talk about, there was even a court case, talking about who will be the chairman of Labour Party. Now, do you think that the people who are disgruntled over the fact that they were not being given opportunity or think that they were not being treated fairly as party members now are behind these issues between NLC and the Labour Party itself?
That is politics. Politics is selfish. Even friends in politics, once they're out of politics, they can become friends again. But when they are still there, they can be so selfish. You see, and also there should also be in their law. Yeah, we know that Labour Party is part of NLC. The only person that brought this party to limelight is Peter Obi. If it's not Peter Obi, nobody will knows it, right? So Peter Obi now makes the party looks as a juicy one for everybody to come. But at this point in time, you must be able to separate. There is a line difference between the chairman of the party and the president of the Labour. You are the president fighting. You see, even in the real sense, if he handles his portfolio very well, it will make a good name for himself rather than being the chairman of the party. For now, because the president is in your hands, the all Nigeria workers is in your hands. You call the shots if you're actually up to your duty. But because of misplacement of priority, greed, and selfishness, you are eyeing two places at the same time. And there's a saying in my dialect that if you run after two birds at a time, you have the possibility of losing them.
All right. Now, with Julius Abure has been one of the most, one can actually say he's been one of the most talked about party chairman, one of, in recent time, right, with a lot of controversy surrounding him. His chairmanship has been in question for quite some time, from the elections up until recently. Yeah. There was this battle between Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa. And now we have the same Julius Abure. He was arrested, you do recall, and alleged to have been in possession of guns. That was also. Now, what does this do to the position of the party as they still have elections to deal with in certain parts of the country?
You see, it's getting clearer that if you take the presidential aspirant of that party is not in existence. I will always tell you this: look at the two other parties. You must have a leader.
But the other parties are not exactly free from
They are not.
issues
They are
as
not.
well.
They are not free from issues. But there are people that can call the shots and call you to order when there are crises, even if you are not going to listen to them. But there will be people to say, no, this is the way to go. If you go to PDP, you can go to the former presidents to say what is happening. You will hear Baba those days telling you one or two things. You will hear Jonathan speaking. If you come to APC, there are people, Baba BCR Konde and the likes, that you can like, guys, what's going on? Give out your voice. Where, as far as this LP is concerned, the major figure, I'm not saying his role.
So does this now speak to the issue of lack of structure?
We've been saying it, but they say we don't need structure to grow things. But we're already creating confusion. This is where leadership, as this organization is, if there are no structure, there is no how you will grow. Because everybody will be doing things haphazardly. There won't be control. There must be someone, whether he has more technical know-how than you, that you need to respect because of the office. And that's why they will always tell you, for every political party that wins any election, the winner of that election becomes the party leader, either at the state or at the federal level. As we speak, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the leader of APC. Buhari was, while he was there, controlling the affairs of things. And I have asked myself, since I saw these issues within LP and NLC, what is the position of Mr. Peter Obi to like call the shot? You cannot move or succeed without it. You see, the picture the Gen Z generation are portraying is that no structure of corruption and all the likes. No, in every setting there must be a structure, and there must be people you look up to. I will tell you, people will tell you this, that NSAS was successful, but do you know there was no structure? It's a lie. There were people behind the scene, not really known to individual, that were coordinating the affairs of things. So you thought the issue of the money being raised via crypto and all those things was just something people were doing. People were coordinating behind the scene, but were not too visible. And I want to believe the same should happen. It's LP is a party I consider as coming up there can be a formidable opposition to the current administration and even PDP in some states. But I am not seeing them playing that role. After the last election, Edo gubernatorial election is coming. What role are they playing? We are fighting internal wherever, not concentrating on other things. Ondo is coming up. Are you hearing about? We are hearing more of PDP and APC in those two states, at least to the best of my knowledge. So that's where structure comes in to say, okay, we can be having problem at the national level, but there must be a leader to say, see, guys, don't let's lose focus. Part of the things is that we have a governor. How can we do it in such a way that we can have two? And I must give it to Abia State Governor. Oti is trying his best. At least giving the perspective to say, if you give us opportunity more, we can do better. But the central is not holding. And you are not looking for a way to even galvanize more.
The senators from the party have even been accused of being bad ambassadors of the party because they have participated in the largesse at the assembly. How does that make you feel?
No, you see, when you get in there, see this when I see individuals on social media fighting themselves, I laugh, and that's why I will not fight anyone. I keep saying it. The day they said, no, we now have LP, there will be strong opposition to all these our corrupt leaders and this. I was on a particular and I said, let's wait and see. And when the issue of the 160 million vehicle came, I was asking them, there's no share, so you are too hasty to conclude. I said, now, where are we? How many of the opposition party followed Nengi when he raised the allegation? How many? In fact, I saw a member of opposition party, NNPP, coming up to say that Nengi must be dealt with. And I said, where is the place of hope? David, if you are criticizing government today, I will put you there.
Moses is David.
Okay.
I understand it's Bible.
Both of you, okay. Moses, David.
Biblical.
Moses, you see, if you are in there today, we only give you a little time to see the real person in you. When it comes to politics, they always fight when there is an issue that is not favoring them together. But when there is something coming together, they are all one. Everybody has gotten the vehicle. They are driving it and going up. Nobody will oppose anyone. As a matter of fact, they are looking for the next level of what will come to them. The issue of constituency allowance that is coming to them. Have you seen anyone refuting it? I'm sure they will call them and say, oh, but if you have to be, so you get in law so that you can bring something home. Otherwise, the next election, people are already saying that they may not have opportunity to come and recontest. I said, it's not going to work. They will come back and even win on the platform of Labour Party in their constituency. Again and again.
All right. Now, talking about having the interest of the people, having issues, even among the people who have already clinched the position being in the Senate. Pat Utomi called Labour Party and I'm talking about the Labour Party chairman and NLC president to order, telling them to hold, because one of the things Jero talked about was that Abure was planning on organizing, a secret convention without him. And they said that actually should not be done. And that was actually what led to them coming up with placards and blocking their headquarters in Otaku. Now to you, Dr. Ganiu, do you think that pausing this convention that's supposed to be on the 27th of March will help Labour Party put their house in order, as Mr. Sheson talked about, to be able to get the seats that they needed to get in Edo State or in Ogun State, in Ondo State, yeah?
When you look at, you talk about structure. So even, because I think the major issue they have is just like Labour Party just came to limelight too fast.
But the party had
it has been bet dozer, just dozer. It's just like what happened to the fire. That said that there's no water. So it has been so docile. Nobody is looking towards the major party is PDP, APC. So it just come overnight. They just shoot up. You see, there's a saying that if charisma can get you to the top, but if you don't have a well-bred attitude, you will come down again. You see, the only man that's all the party today as we speak is Peter Obi. And it's because of integrity, his pedigree, things that people have known. Everybody that comes into power, it's on his platform. Right? And because of that, I think because they pulled so much strength at that time, they should have quickly worked out some structure. How do we separate ourselves from the Labour Party, from the NLC? At what point in time should we have an handshake? This should be, because as we speak now, the NLC president still assumes that the chairman must report to him because he is the president. I assume that. So for you going out to do something without my information, that is we call it, that is being insubordinate. So we are going to call you to order.
I want to find out. I've heard both of you talk about presidential aspirant of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, not saying a word. Is his statement going to, this first question, is his statement going to in any way douse down all of this tension? Because let's also put to forward here, the Labour Party chairman, that's in person of Abure, have been accused of misappropriation of funds from the last presidential election, which was of course donated by well-meaning Nigerians. Now, if funding is an issue in a party that we know is about gaining its ground as a result of this one man, is this one man still a factor for the party to stay together and not go the way they've been going amongst themselves?
You will know how powerful leadership is. When Buhari was in government, without saying anything, body language. You see, people saw his body language, and you see a lot of things that are happening with body language. You understand? Leadership is more powerful. Leadership calls the shots. If a leader is quiet, it's assumed an approval. Right? A leader just to say a word can tweak a lot of things, or calling for a meeting. But keeping quiet will not solve a matter. Right? Because as we say that, it's just like saying that a house divided against itself. Do you get it? So as it is now, there must also be you see, this is an internal buaha that needs to be put in place. We need to put a structure. Where is the NLC president? Where is his authority stopping? The chairman of the NLC, where does he have his limit? Everybody must have their limit. But as we speak now, the chairman of NLC is operating as the chairman of any other party. PDP, the chairman of the party is the alpha and omega of the president. He only responds to the president on the table, right? So this is how it's working. And you could see that NLC is a peculiar party. That is not naturally, the party should be for the welfare of the citizen. That's how the party is. The party, anybody coming out for it, his main agenda is to ensure that no Nigerians suffer. Right? That is the essence of the party. That's why the party has been docile for a long time. I think it's high time for him to call these people to order, because if not, it's going to affect his presidential ambition in the next. Now, and if he thinks, there was a time they said that, NLC, PDP, and another party, they are merging together. So if they are merging together and they are forming another party, it's so much that they are not going to use NLC name. They are not going to use LP. They are not going to use LP name. They are not going to use PDP, and they are not going to use NNPP. They are going to come up with another name. It's so well, so NLC will go back to where it was.
Now, I was going to come to that question. I was going to ask you that question that we also, but let me switch to Mr. Okwade now. Now, we've looked at Peter Obi as the leader of the party due to the structure in Nigeria, but let's also look at how he went to the party in the first place. It wasn't ordinarily where he would have wanted to be, but situation led him to go to the party at the time that he did. It was really close to elections, but he found himself there, and the pedigree of the man worked for him. Now, with that in mind, the man also did say, let's be fair, he did say that he doesn't know everybody in the party. When he came to Lagos to campaign for Gbadebo Roads Vival, he said, this one I can vouch for. I can't vouch for everybody in the party. Which just tells you that, look, he doesn't know the nitty-gritty of each person in the party because he hasn't been with the party members for quite a long time. So there are people that he met on ground doing the things that they were doing, which of course he might not agree to, but the party had a structure before he got in there. So would he now come and try to rejig it? Is that something that he can easily do? That's one. Secondly, as Ganiyu, went tilted towards the angle of the formation of another party. Do you think Peter will be with Atiku and those have been talking about forming a formidable opposition against the APC? Do you think there's a possibility that they would ride under whatever it will come from Labour Party and maybe and the PDP as well?
To the first question, you see, when you come out, this you're saying it's over a year. During last year, February, even before February, I think 2022, we started the campaign processes before we now came in February 2023 to have the election. And you have more than a year. If indeed you have the interest of that party at hand, there are certain things that you must have been putting in place. You don't know them, but they worked for you to that height to get you where you are. And you don't know them. They worked for him. Labour Party, if those guys have actually divided themselves, Labour Party will not be anywhere. If this issue that we are faced with as we speak happened around January 2023, they wouldn't have gotten the support that they got therein. They were united as a formidable party to challenge because of that man. So that man must not use that influence to say, guys, these are things that I met on ground. These are things we need to structure. Whether we are going to consolidate to form coalition with other parties to challenge the opposition, we must be seen, identified with one particular thing before we go to that particular area. And that's what is lacking here.
Okay.
It's not giving that direction. So when you go to that second question of saying coming together to form, look at when ACN, CPC, and one other party came to form this APC. There were ideologies. And we have the arrowhead, which was ACN then. And Bola Tinubu played a prominent role in making sure that this work. I as we speak, I'm not saying that pivotal, someone I can call the head who will play that pivotal role.
In making sure
that coalition work. As at then, because if those things must come in place, I can tell you for free, the PDP aspirant for this last election is still nursing the ambition to come out. But during ACN, CPC, and the other party, I think they were using in that period. I can't remember. It's from the southeast. I think it was Rochas that was there that period. What they did was to say, Ashwaju, you will be the leader. We are projecting this person, which was Buhari, and we see the best that we can maximize. That is the game plan in it. I am not seeing anyone in the three parties.
Unfortunately, we are pressed for time, so we have to
give that direction.
Thank you very much. We have to wrap up this conversation now and move on to the very next one. Now, up next, House of Reps pass bill for upward review of judicial officers' salaries and other remuneration. Let's talk about this one when we come back.
Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to track our person this evening. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
You know, Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda kaunane marabauta gashi.
Ramon, me haka. Gashi na get lalace ka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan Kareem.
All right, let's just dive into the second topic almost immediately. Now, the House of Representatives has passed a bill for an upward review of the salaries, allowances, and fringe benefits of judicial office holders in the country, with a total monthly package of 5.39 million naira for the Chief Justice of Nigeria. In the executive bill submitted to the Green Chamber on Tuesday by President Bola Tinubu, all the justices of the Supreme Court are to earn a total package of 4.21 million naira, while the President of the Court of Appeal is to earn a total monthly package of 4.48 million naira. Similarly, justices of the Appeal Court are to earn a total monthly package of 3.73 million naira. The monthly package comprises basic salaries and all regular allowances, including car fueling and maintenance, personal assistance, hardship, entertainment, utilities, security, outfits, journal subscription, medicals, service allowance, restricted or forced lifestyle, dual responsibility, and legal researches. Similarly, the House also approved other allowances, including leave allowances, extra codes per night of $2,000 where applicable. Duty toll allowances where applicable. Severances, gratuity of 80.78 million naira at the completion of a tenure. Now, these also an option. There is also an option for a motor vehicle loan due for repayment before the expiration of the tenure of the officer concerned. Now, one would wonder how and why the salaries are higher than House of Senators and than those of the senators and even the presidents. Interesting times. Now let's talk about this.
They also have a hardship allowance, by the way.
Yes. Okay.
What's the hardship about? So what are the inconveniences about?
But my first question I want to put out there, which is of course a question on the lips of some Nigerians.
Yeah.
At this time, is this compensation to the judiciary for anything?
Moses, for the first time, you took words out of my system.
Just one, please.
Thank you very much, Moses. You see, when we look at the way things are actually operating, you are beclouded even in your view what is actually happening. If suddenly we asked for the independence of the judiciary and how they need to be paid well so that they can focus more on what they're doing. But instances where you are earning more than Senate, earning more than the executive head, there is more to it.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't want to see it as compensation, but I feel if not at par, the discrepancy should not be much more than what we're saying. So I was seeing in the prologue there of about 4-point-something million monthly.
Right.
I don't know the current earning of Mr. President, neither of the Senate, because we keep asking the question for it to be made public, and there is no pure clarity. All we hear is that people are just saying we earn so much, but we are not earning as much as what they think we are earning. But for me, in figures, I want clear figures like this. But this has actually postulated that they are not earning as much as 3 million, 2 million that we have in the
official pay.
Pay. But if three of you are supposed to be at par, because we believe that the executive, the legislative arm, and the judiciary, they are independent and par, and one seems to be earning than the other, then there are more questions for us to ask.
Isn't that so that the others who are not earning as much but have access to more funds do not influence the weaker one
who do not have anything
who doesn't
to
really
write
have
on?
anything,
Because
yes.
for every senator or a member of the National Assembly, there are constituency allowance, which the judiciary arm may not have anything to do.
Yeah.
For the executive, there are contracts to execute.
All right.
So we have compensation in court
Unfortunately.
for those two arms. So this can be, but I feel if we must just suppose that you can consider, it's just like saying in an organization, we have the head of finance, the head of human resources, and the head of production. But their pay, is staggering. Maybe based on negotiation, or they have almost the same input, in the sense that a finance man is not superior to an head of human resources, because if he or she do not recruit the right set of people, the finance man may not have it all. And if he doesn't do the same to production, the production man is not going to get the best out of it. If the production man does not utilize effectively those that were actually recruited, he may not have that wherewithal to give the input to make the organization grow. And if the finance man is not there to make sure that he put in those control mechanisms, so you can see that the three of them are important. No one is superior to the other. So I'm using that to juxtapose that the legislators, the executive, the judiciary, as far as I'm concerned, are at par. So we should not see one, having that overriding stuff in terms of salary to the other. So if that is happening, that the judiciary are earning more than the executive and the legislator, then what they're saying is that there are other areas where we are actually augmenting it, which you don't have the opportunity or have access to, that we are just opening the ground for.
All right, Dr. Gani, I really want to come to you on this. Now, it's interesting to know that the government has come out to say that Nigeria doesn't have money. And another interesting part is that the legislators have passed this bill. What are your thoughts bringing this together?
You see, my thought is as good as your thought. Right. When I saw the figure, I think the figures, there are disparities in it. They said the monthly allowance of the CJN will be 5.4 million per month, and its annual will be 64.8 million per annum for the CJN, and for the justice of the Supreme Court will be 61.8 million per annum. Right. And the question is that, where are they coming from? We should look about history. Here we are talking about the independence of the judiciary. Do not forget, they're still not independent. Someone is paying them.
Right.
He that pays the piper dictates the tune. So independent, they are not generating the money themselves. They are not in charge. They need to rely on the executive for them to be paid. So the independent is not, the only thing is just like you are increasing their pay. And their pay, the gap is so much. As at September 9, 4th of September 2023, there is still news all around that the salary of the CJA, when it was part of the justice, is 750,000 per month. And because he's now becoming a CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, they give him a very good accommodation, so his salary dive to 450 per month. And he said, no, my salary is not up to that. My salary is around 280,000 plus per month. I'm not earning as what to think, not even close to 450, as they talk about the professor. then you now say either 450,000 per month or 280,000 per month to 5 point. My God, so much money, right? So if you now, it's not even 100%. In the mathematical world, they call it geometric progression. It's not even geometric, right? It's an exponential. The gap is so much, right? It's so wide. And we are still talking about signing for increment of your workers, minimum wages. And you're still struggling on that.
You know, I was actually I was about getting to that point because now SANU and NASU are on strike. They say they are actually observing the strike because of the arrears they're owing them and their salary is not paid for like 4 months or thereabout. And now that the House of Rep have come up to say we want to, or rather they've already, not just that we want to, they've already signed it by 1st of January 2024, by 1st of January next year. 2025. Yeah, 2025, thank you. The president, they will start implementing that payment. And then one we want to ask, some people are now saying this in Nigeria, that it's more like creating another challenge for, you know, the government. Now, you also told that line that increasing the salary of the judiciary officer from what it used to be to millions of naira now, do you think Nigeria can be able to foot that bill?
There is, you see, when you say there's no money in Nigeria, there is money. We just have the capacity, we don't have the capacity to spend it judiciously and effectively. The money is just been going into some set of people's and it's not being used for productivity. It's either being stocked in the bank or it's being changed, converted to dollars, or it's been invested in another jurisdiction. There is so much money in Nigeria that we do not know how to use it effectively to the benefit of the citizen, right? So you now see now, if we are productive, our level of export, a state governor state, he said, don't go there, I'm richer than my state. Then why are you the state governor? Don't get it. So all these things, these parameters needs to be looked into. The citizens that are when you look at 64.8 million, it can pay more than 10,000. What am I saying? That minimum wage, and we are still struggling with minimum wage. We should think out of the box and see how we can make the country work and we become more productive to ensure that, it's not, and with this now, is a way we are also trying to, we are going to try to increase inflation, right? Because we don't have the parameters and to justify it. Moving from either 450 or 750 to 5.4 million. The gap is wide. And we have the lower staff at the lower cadre that are still crying, give us a minimum wage. We don't have. Now, we have it in each of those states. We have a lot of drop out of school. What is the government doing like that? You said that, the state government should get 50% so that they can get the grant, 50 billion so that they can get 10 billion from the government for out of school students. The state government said we don't have the money. And we see now that, and do not forget, it says that the child of the poor man that you fail to send to school will be a threat to your own children when they grow up. These are things we should look into and see how we can make the country a better place for, not when it gets to politics, you now go and begin to eat with alimanjiri, sharing spoon with them. It does not make sense. Okay. Does it better their life more than what they are?
Mr. Olusegun, Nigerians came out, some Nigerians have been airing their opinion as regards this bill that the House of Representatives signed. And it triggered a call for Nigeria to leave the presidential system of government to parliamentary system of government, saying that we are spending a lot of some people now are saying that we're spending a lot of money to put some people in some positions that they don't even know how to harness. Some time ago, you recall that when we Nigerians are crying over the fact that the economic hardship is so dire, some people in the House say that they want to vote a vote of confidence. they called out, like they wanted to do that for the president, and some people shun it down and all that. Now people are saying that if the people representing us in the House of Representatives actually have much work to do, it would have actually been better. So they are tagging it to be, we have more people in power or in the office doing nothing. Do you also told that line that we need to reduce it, we need to pull down some arms and move into another system of government?
Yeah, thank you very much, Fina. You see, first and foremost, let me just, before I respond to your question, just give a clue of what Dr. Ganiel said. See, each time I hear that we don't have money, I don't like that statement. I don't like it at all. At all. When you say you don't have money and you see funds in the hands of several individuals in this country, you ask yourself, each time we traveled, we are disappointed at the way people perceive us. He said that we don't value ourselves. So when you say we don't have money, this that our rep have done, I think we are applauding them to see the kind of person they are. At least it's a mixed house. So it's not about APC or PDP or Labour. It's a mixed house. And they are doing this for us. We have not seen the parts of the lower cadre. You are only concentrating on the higher one because those are the ones that can challenge you. The man that is doing the paperwork that will give to CJN is not being considered of what is going to be paid. But we are talking of how do we take the lot, how do we make the life of those organs better so that they can oppress the lower people. It's quite disheartening, I must say. Quite disheartening. And going the path of saying, some of us have advocated that we want the unicameral way of legislation rather than having the House of Rep and the Senate. Can we just have one? And if possible, can you be on pattern? I've been an advocate to say, can we be on pattern? There are times you hear that we are on recess for 3 months. So those 3 months, what are we doing? Are you being paid? The answer is yes.
They actually sit for half a year.
Sir?
They actually sit for half a year.
Half a year. So the remaining 6 months is on what? And you are being paid those small, they are not paying them humongous salary, but you are still being paid something for those periods that you're not on state and you claim so you can have time for yourself in doing certain things and you are earning government. That's why I've been an advocate to say let's operate during camera legislator where we have just one arm and let's place it on the call where when you come, because we know in court that it is not people like Shola, like myself, like David that are high up there. These are people that are fulfilled. They've one way or the other been governor. You know, when you go to the Senate, it's a retirement position. You just finish as a governor and you feel that I need to be relevant, let me go to the Senate or House of Rep. We know that they are made. So when you make it a call, when you come for sitting, we'll pay you sitting allowance and you go back to your businesses that you're doing, that you have. That on its own, what it will do is some of the funds that you've actually, got into yourself, by virtue of the office, you can invest it and monitor those things. Then we can follow through to say, these are businesses that we can pinpoint that you have managed successfully. So when you have a call, like some of these associations we do, when you have meeting, you come, we are having meeting next week, Monday. Everybody needs to we've flied out some of those things that we need to discuss. There is emergency meeting that we need to meet. These are the reasons. You come, we can afford to say, okay, we are paying this allowance. As a matter of fact, you don't even need the money because you are made. A lot of them will come up to tell us that the reason why they are coming into politics is to serve. But I ask myself the question, is it indeed to serve with so much that they are actually earning? So for me, I support the idea of saying, rather than having the two arms of legislatures, let's just have one. Even the executive, are there ways that we can streamline the numbers that we are so that we can...
Okay, I'm still going to stay with you. Now, two questions. First is particularly on the issue of this amount that we've read out. Where does that leave the Nigerian Bar Association and her members? Because at this point, let's face it, the people at the top, just like we've rightly mentioned, The people at the top of the cadre, particularly in the justice system, are the ones being paid the big amount. And then, of course, the ones that are also coming in, the ones that are even in the board of the NBA also will be clamoring to get to that position because it's now juicy. And that's on that part. What then lies the body, the Nigerian Bar Association? That's one. Two, what do Nigerians at this point, and of course, maybe I should ask the same question, where then leaves Nigerians with all of these figures that we're hearing? Noting the fact that at this point of Nigeria's economy, we're now taking palliatives. That's one. Again, the president's wife came out yesterday, and of course was reported this morning, telling Nigerians to go into farming. And we are seeing these figures. Nigeria is also borrowing for consumption, like we've all seen. The budget padding is also there. Figures are flying everywhere. Where does that leave Nigerians, and what should Nigerians do at this time?
You see, what we are discussing this morning, I think what some of us have been saying as we speak. Before now, while we're growing, we have the poor, the middle class, and the elite. As we speak, we have collapsed the middle class. That does not exist any longer. So we have the elites, the poor, and we now created another office, the poor of the poor.
Of the poor, the poorest of the
The
poor.
poorest of the poor. So those are the three categories that we have now. So you ask yourself, the Nigeria Bar Association, a lot of regulators and institutions do not have positive influence on this politician. Everybody as we speak is looking for what is that is innate for me as an individual to better the lot of my family. It's about I and I alone. It's not even entrenched into the private sector. And that's why we are seeing failures. You see, a lot of systems that we have seen work for private sector in terms of value proposition is no longer there. And these are the same set of people that you call technocrat, that you can vouch and say, let's see them go into our political offices, they will make the difference. And what are we getting? How can we have so much technocrats in our House of Representatives and nobody is speaking to the fact that what are we doing to the less trodden people, but we are concentrating more on those that are high up there. The number of people or the percentage of the people that they are going to increase their salary compared to those other staff is not comparable. They can decide to lock the gate of all the judiciary offices, and these people will not have any positive influence on it.
Okay.
Why are you not speaking to those people? And we can talk more on that aspect. How many of us have followed through? The executive have raised the bar to say some states should go ahead and pay, additional fee. I think only 10 states is obliging to that. Some are adding 10,000, except maybe for 2 states that are adding like 30,000 to the minimum wage. And the cost of things we are not speaking to that. All we are doing is that how can we make the elites to be much more better than where we are living there. And that's why you see the desperation in the act of every individual to aspire to the top. So if this is there, those that are the Nigeria Bar Association that are the lower level are yearning up to be part of this.
Because of time, let's quickly get your concluding thoughts. And as you make to conclude, I'll start with you, Dr. Gani Oluwashola. As you conclude, what would you say about NLC's demand for 1 million naira at this point?
I will justify it. For them to be able to pay the CJN 5.4 million, then they should. You say it might not be.
There's also an ESTA code where applicable.
Dollars. $2,000.
Well, some people are reporting 2,000. Some are reporting 1,300.
And you can see that this bill was passed with speed, right? With speed, and these guys have been fighting for increment of this. It's just like maybe Joe Ajero is not taking this presidency seriously like his predecessor, Adamu Shiomole. He should be able to pull some weight. These guys should be able to. They should get compensation. They should be compensated. At least with what we are saying, minimum salary should be able to buy at least minimum a bag of rice. A bag of rice is going to 75,000, 80,000.
Let me know where you are getting that, because the one I got is 90,000, so that I can save that 15,000.
You see now, the one I bought last. You get, so you now see, so which means that your minimum salary cannot even buy a bag of rice, and you are still struggling that we can't pay 40,000, we can't pay 50,000, and you can approve 5.4 million for just one person, and other justice you can approve 61 point. These are things, when we talk about our constitution, we must be seeing three things are more germane.
Okay.
Equity, fairness, and justice. In all these things, do we see equity there? Do we see fairness, and is there justice?
Big question that you're leaving us with. Is there equity, fairness, and justice in everything playing out? Mr. Olusegun Okunade, your concluding thoughts as well, knowing fully well that elections are still taking place in some parts of the country. Are we going to put our eyes on the judiciary again, hoping for better days and equity, fairness, and justice?
No, the word will still stand, eyes on the judiciary. We always put the eyes there, because if you even seen the internal rancor that it's playing out with the primaries, look at Edo, PDP, look at Udo, those things, eyes will always be on the judiciary. I just want to conclude with this to say the government should put at the back of their mind that there is what we call posterity that we judge. There will be a record. We'll play back this that is happening in this nation.
Right.
We'll play back in the years to come.
Okay.
People can speak about Awolowo. People can speak about Baba Jakonde. People can speak about Nnamdi Azikiwe. He's playing back the video of what they've done. What are we going to say about you to your generation? A lot of them, while they were starting their political ambition, were wearing the cap like Awo, like Zik. Can people follow through some of the things?
The cap is different now, if you've noticed.
It's different,
It's
but
different.
are you setting the right tune that the generation to come can say, indeed, this is entrenched with integrity? That's what we're concerned about, because if we do not secure our environment with what my brother have said, equity, with fairness and justice, we will continue to bridle insecurity, and an insecure environment can never prosper. I just leave them with that so that they can know the next thing at least to do to give us a sign of relief.
All right, then. A big thanks to our gentlemen in the studio. We've been speaking with Mr. Olusegun Okunade, who is a public affairs analyst, and Dr. Ganiu Oluwashola, managing partner, KJB Professional Services as well. We must say a very big thank you to you for coming and for your thoughts as well.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into the world of business.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Zara.
help me. You can sell enough to be able to track our person this evening. Ramon, take this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
Nazara.
Ramadan, watansa miladane. Nasoda kaunane marabauta dashi.
Ramon, me haka. Gasina di kitela la cheka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan, Ramadan.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere
All right, let's get into the world of business now. In a move indicative of its growing ambition in East Africa, Access Bank has acquired the National Bank of Kenya from the KCB Group. Now, this marks Access Bank's second attempt at entering the Kenyan market following a failed acquisition of CDN Bank in 2023. Now, KCB Group CEO Paul Russo expressed confidence in the deal, believing it will benefit NBK's future. Access Bank CEO Roosevelt Ogbonna echoed this sentiment, highlighting the acquisition's alignment with their strategic plan for Kenya. The deal is expected to be finalized within 6 to 9 months. Now, this acquisition follows KCB Group's 2019 rescue of NBK, which faced financial difficulties. And since then, KCB has implemented significant changes to strengthen NBK's capital reserves and steer it towards profitability. All right, now moving on to another story. The Nigerian Naira is experiencing a significant gain against the US dollars on the parallel market, while speculators sensing waning demand are selling their dollar holdings, leading to a buy price of 1,400 Naira to $1 for those looking to sell. Now, this represents a notable improvement compared to yesterday's closing rate of around 1,600 Naira to $1. Now, this development is, of course, a welcome one by both currency traders and the broader economy, as a stronger Naira benefits businesses and consumers alike. Meanwhile, the official exchange rates on the investor and exporters window, that's the I&E window, also shows positive signs, with the Naira trading at its strongest point since early March, and that point is at 1,560 Naira to $1. Right, these are the business stories we have for you at the moment. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's going to be entertainment being served. Stay right here. We'll be back in a bit.
This is still VOP This Morning on VOP TV. Up next is Entertainment Story, and we have Chisom Naya for the entertainment news. Good morning, Chisom.
Good morning, Fina. Good morning, Mr. David. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning,
Moses.
Chisom.
All right, let's get right into entertainment. Award-winning music star Tiwa Savage has shared her battle with food poisoning as she reveals she's currently down and under medication. Aside from food poisoning, the singer recently opened up on her struggles with eyesight. Tiwa has suffered blurry vision for more than 3 years. She revealed that her eyesight difficulties have become worse in recent times. The international star has friends and fans worried about her health conditions. Some fans urged her to pay close attention to her health, while other fans wished her a quick recovery. I wish her a quick recovery, but it's sad to see that in recent times, artists and actors have been coming out to talk about, serious health conditions. Would you attribute it, Mr. Moses, would you attribute it to what they take
Lifestyle.
or their lifestyle?
Some of it, yes.
Okay.
Some of it can be linked to their lifestyle choices, and it's not far fetched because when you're in entertainment,
Yes.
there's a possibility you would want to go for events and all of that. You want to lead a certain lifestyle.
Yes.
So there is that possibility that if care is not taken, you will expose yourself to certain things that will be detrimental to one's health
Yes.
in the long run. But it takes if you don't do some of these things, you're seen as boring. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just.
When you're seen as boring, how do you what's your advice to people that fall in that category of being pressured to do certain things? What would be your advice to them?
Be smart, really.
Okay.
Be smart. You can go for a party and be the life of the party without taking shisha or smoking anything.
Right.
You can actually just, be there, jumping, gyrating, and having fun and making so much noise. It's all part of acting.
Yeah, true.
You can act all
True.
crazy, and then you get into your car like, "Ooh, thank God." And then
Right.
you go home. And
Is that what you do as a celebrity?
I listen to that coming.
Sometimes I do that.
Sometimes you do that. Okay. All right, well, let's move to the next story. Well, still on health issues, Nollywood actress Abimbola Greg has opened up about the painful experience she had to endure after having brain surgery in 2014. The skinny girl in Transit Star shared how she found out she had a brain tumor and needed surgery. She went for the surgery, but it resulted to another issue. According to her, shortly after the surgery, she realized she was reacting to the pain medication given to her by the doctor, as she could neither eat, sleep, or be still. She had to go through a painful procedure called the lumbar puncture. At that point, she thought she was going to die, but that was her journey to recovery. 10 years later, Abimbola Greg is grateful to be alive and healthy to share her story. Well, I'm happy she's fine and good, and I'm happy for her right now. That's all we have on entertainment.
All right, thank you very much, Shisa. We'll take a break now, and sports will be coming your way. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. Let's just dive into sports almost immediately. Now, in the women's 100 meters hurdle at the African Games 2023 on Wednesday, the gold medal was secured by none other than Toby Amusan, marking her third consecutive victory in the event at the African Games. Clocking a time of 12.89 seconds, the former world athletic champion retained her title effortlessly, entering the race as the clear favorite. Amusan initially faced a setback as she false started due to the noise from the crowd. Despite receiving a yellow card, she repositioned herself and commenced the race again. Now this time, she executed a flawless start and cruised to a comfortable victory. And of course, another Nigerian athlete, Faith Osamui, narrowly missed out on a podium finish, coming in fourth with a time of 13.77 seconds. Amusan later showcased her prowess in the women's 4x100 meters relay, anchoring the Nigerian team to gold with a time of 46.06 seconds, alongside Justina Eyakpo Bayan, Olajide Olayinka, and 4 Abinu Sawa. They clinched the gold medal in a separate event earlier that day. Chidi Okezie clinched gold in the women's 400 meters final. So much in the athletics of the ongoing African Games. Not also forgetting that the Super Eagles camp is also bubbling big time because all of the players are raring to go. And Ghana will see Shaggy. That's about it for sports.
All right, that's it. That's it on the show today. I wish you a beautiful day. I'm Moses Humphrey, and big ups to we do hope that Ghana will defend itself in that one. Bye for now.
Fina Kechiko is my name. I'm happy that the lady is doing us well. Gum. Yes, I have to. Don't look at me that way. Anyway, that's a good girl. I've actually loved her anyway. Right. Have a wonderful day, Nigerians. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, David Edwin is my name, and I'm saying have a beautiful day ahead. Top of the hour, 9 a.m. We'll be having the news coming up shortly. But we also have to remind you, for the ones that have answered our questions from Monday, we definitely have been told by our producers that you've been contacted. And if not, don't worry, we got you covered. Have a great day ahead. God bless Nigeria.
Hi, Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to drink our first in this evening. Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda kauna ne marabauta da shi.
Ramon, me haka. Gashi ne ka lalace ka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem.